This is Mark Vogler reporting for the Eagle Tribune. Today I'm with Lawrence Police Chief John Romero, and we've got a couple of questions about recent crime statistics for the first 8 months of the new fiscal year compared to the 8 months of the previous year over the same period. And it looks like that crime has increased about half, nearly half, since the layoffs of last July, at the beginning of the fiscal year. And in particular, there is an increase of 119% in stolen cars, 80% in murder, and 77% in aggravated assault, 22% in residential burglary. And these are statistics for major so-called Category 1 crimes that are reported to the FBI annually. Chief, what is the significance of these statistics, and how concerned should residents in Lawrence be about these statistics?
Well, first of all, let me say the men and women of this department are committed to providing a safe city for its people. Lawrence, as many cities, are now facing tough economic times. Over the last 2 years, we've had to essentially lose 51 positions within the department, 40 coming within the last year. When that happened, it forced us to collapse all our specialized units: auto theft, insurance fraud, gang unit, drug unit, domestic violence, burglary apprehension, community policing. These units were effective in dealing with underlying issues that led to crime. And the most effective way to deal with crime is deal with the underlying issues. After a crime happens, responding to it, you're responding to a crime, but you're not preventing it. It's unfortunate. It's not anybody's fault, but Lawrence, like many cities, is facing a tough economic times, and we lost almost a third of our department. But what made us effective in dealing with crime was dealing with the underlying issues. So we have seen an increase. I mean, for years, Lawrence traditionally reported 4,000 Part 1 crimes a year, and that was the case for 20, 30 years prior to my arrival in 1999. We were able to get that down to an average of about 1,760 by 2004, and essentially keep it there for 6 years.
Looks like you got 1,813 just for the first 8 months of this year.
It's a problem which obviously it's a problem we're dealing with, but the issue becomes for us is that we're in a reactive mode. In order to, our number one priority is to have people available to answer calls for services. If you pick up that phone and call police, 911 or otherwise, there has to be sufficient people to respond. But in doing that with such massive loss in personnel, we've had to basically shut down all the specialized units and collapse them into patrol in order to have sufficient people. The problem there is now you're reacting to crime, which is the least effective way to deal with crime, because you're only responding to crime after it happens.
Well, what's the solution? What's the solution to this dilemma?
Well, I'm hoping that whether it's our officials on a state or a federal level look at Lawrence, look at his track record, look at Lawrence for the last 10 years, and see the progress that Lawrence has made. We went from having one of the highest crime rates prior to my arrival in the city, per capita of any city, to having one of the lowest, if not the lowest, of any city. So, I mean, I think people on the state level and the federal level, if they look at Lawrence and say, that's money well spent, that the Lawrence Police Department knows how to deal with crime, they've got a proven track record, the men and women there are committed to providing safe service for the people of the city, and hopefully, similar to what the fire department, we could see something in the way of a grant or something that could help us get back to doing what we know we need to do in order to be successful in reducing crime.
Chief, you came here in January 1999, and things were bad then. And if I'm not mistaken, about 2 years ago, you were like at the peak of your game as far as a police chief, as far as accolades that were bestowed upon the police department for major efforts in decreasing the crime rate in Lawrence. In fact, I think the Pioneer Institute cited the police department as having one of the lowest crime rates per 1,000 for cities in Massachusetts was 60,000 and over.
That's great. And we received several awards. We received an award in 2009 from the Ash Institute for our efforts in insurance fraud.
This one right here?
That's correct.
Tell me about that.
That's an award. We were recognized as having one of the most innovative. We would finish in the top 16 in the entire country as innovative programs, and it was our effort in dealing with insurance fraud that was replicated, working with the Insurance Fraud Bureau, replicated throughout the Commonwealth, and it had a major impact on insurance fraud. It virtually eliminated insurance fraud in the city and reduced everybody's rate per car by $600. We were also, in 2005, received the International Association of Chiefs of Police 2005 Vehicle Theft Award for being able to reduce stolen cars so dramatically. We reduced stolen cars in this city by 80%. The unfortunate part for us is the things that brought us to where we are today, and I'm not blaming anybody. This economy is impacting every city and town in the country, but unfortunately for us, it doesn't change the impact. And the impact for us now is that we are now reacting to crime, something which I predicted prior to the layoffs. I knew, given 40 years of policing, I knew where this was going to bring us. My hope is that as resources become available through hopefully through grants at both the state and federal level, that we can get these people back and get back to doing what we know we need to do in order to provide a safe city. I mean, right now we are providing a safe city, but we are seeing crime go up, and it's unfortunate because we're not dealing with the underlying issues that we need to deal with to prevent crime. Again, I've said it 100 times. The way to fight crime is to prevent it from happening in the first place. That's the most effective way. We need to get back to that. And unfortunately, right now, we have to have sufficient people to answer calls for services, so most of our people are on patrol with the exception of a small detective division. But again, we have to deal with the issue. This is what we have right now with the personnel, and we're out there committed to providing the best police services we can provide for the residents of Lawrence.
Thank you, Chief. This is Mark Vogler at the Lawrence Police Station talking to Police Chief John Romero about recent crime statistics that don't bode well for Lawrence.
Can we see it?
Yep.
Play back. How's that sound, Mike?